Hello everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of the How to Be Narcissistic Kryptonite podcast. I don't know what to call it anymore. I'm gonna try with the videos again because I don't know. I've been having better luck uploading longer videos now, so I'm gonna try again. Because I did originally want to do the video podcast, but then things got complicated, so I switched to audio only. So today I want to talk about labeling mental health conditions, because I see a lot of posts on Facebook where it's about, people are saying, even if people are saying things like ADHD is not a disorder, or someone is not willing to accept that they have schizophrenia and things like that. Okay, but why is it so important to get that label? And before you say anything, I know what you're going to say. Like, if you don't get the diagnosis, then you won't get the care, etc., etc. And I understand that, I do. But also, okay, just for some things, yes, medication is important. But for things like personality disorders, like bipolar disorder, and even things like bipolar disorder, I'm not saying that medication doesn't help. Of course it does, but a lot of it is about therapy. And if you're if you're dealing with the NHS, you can imagine how difficult it is to get therapy, because the waiting list is ridiculous, and most people who can afford to get therapy privately. I mean, when I needed therapy, I didn't even bother going the NHS route because, there was really no point. I mean, I spoke to my GP and even she said, it's going to be ages to be able to talk, and if I need help now, how can I wait that long? And at the time I had my savings, so I was able to find a therapist who I was able to afford therapy for. And then I had to stop that after a while, but that's not the point. But that's when I started leaning on helping myself. Instead of looking for someone else to help me, I thought about, how can I help myself? And how I help myself is by educating myself, first of all, because there's a lot of information online that you can get without spending any money. And if you have an interest, which I did, also because it was helpful for me, you can find self-help material online. There is actually so much available that you can do yourself. And I think a lot of us are waiting for magical solutions to our problems, especially mental health problems. And we think that if we get the diagnosis, then we'll get the solutions, we'll get the diagnosis, we'll get the medication, and that's going to change everything. And then they become disillusioned and they become disappointed when the medications don't work the way they want it to. And then they bring side effects that may even cause problems like weight gain that lead to other problems like body dysmorphia, eating disorders, binge eating, whatever. It's like the medications then lead to side effects. And this is where even the clinicians always have to find a balance between the benefits and risks before they prescribe any medication. So they have to explain to you the mechanism of action of the drug, how it works, how it can help, and then also the side effects and things that you should be careful about, especially if you have other conditions and are taking other medications that can, interact with the new medication and cause other problems. But I think this expectation that medication will automatically cure you is the issue. And a lot of people don't want to hear that many of the things that you, for your mental health, are environmental, because a lot of the issues that a lot of mental health issues are caused by problems in the environment, like our 9-to-5 jobs, sitting at a desk, the high pressure environment, and lack of self-care. And if we can change those things, we can actually make a big difference to our mental health by taking a holistic approach. And this is something that most people don't want to hear, because they don't want to do the hard work. I'm going to put hard work in quotation marks, because when you actually face up to it, it's not really that hard. But people don't want to hear that, because it's easier to take a medication than it is to go for a walk every day, or eat better food, or cook a meal that is not order takeaway. It's easier to sit there and think, oh, I don't have time, instead of making time. No one has time for anything. I don't have time to create this video right now, but I made time for it. I would rather be doing other things, but I'm making time to do this video because I think it's important. And I'm not doing it to benefit myself. I'm doing it because I feel like this is something that people don't want to. Because I have joined several Facebook groups, supporting BPD or living with schizophrenia, things like that, just to get an idea of what people actually need. Because sometimes I see posts and I'm able to respond with something constructive, based on the knowledge I do have. And and sometimes I read stuff like this about diagnosis and etc. and medication, and people saying, what do I do? And it helps me to understand what the people who are living with this need to know. And it helps me to make these, tailor these posts to do it. So I think in terms of mental health especially, but in general, about health in general, there is a need to change our mindset and stop thinking that medications are going to cure things, and start realizing actually it's our lifestyles that have the biggest impact on our sleep, on our mental health. And it's good, I think sleep came up for a reason, because I was thinking about sleep stuff, and sleep is something that you struggle with when you've got mental health problems. I struggle with sleep. I've struggled with sleep my whole life. I have tried medication briefly. I mean, I'm kind of afraid to try medication. I was afraid to try medication for a long time, because I know about tolerance and getting addicted and needing more of it to, if I become reliant on them, then I will need more and more of it to be able to get the same effect. And I know all of that, so I never wanted to be reliant on medication. But I did go through about a month of like 2 to 3 hours max sleep a night, and I was at a desperate point. And that's when I saw my GP, and I asked her, look, I've tried the over-the-counter sleeping aids, but they're not working, and I desperately just need some, like, one night of good sleep is gonna reset me so I can actually function, because I can't function right now. And she prescribed me, I think it was 7 days of Zopicon, I think. And she told me again, because I was a medical student at that point. No, I was a doctor by then. And I told her I'm not keen on this. And she said, yeah, you're right not to be keen on it, because as you know, it leads to dependence, etc. But And also I need to warn you that I can't prescribe more than 7 days. I won't be able to repeat this. And I told her that's absolutely fine. I probably won't even take it for 7 days because I don't want to. I just need 1 or 2 nights of good sleep and I'll be fine. And that's basically what happened. She gave me that and I took it for 2 days and I was able to reset my sleep cycle and then I stopped. And I think that's the mindset you need to have about medication, because medication is it's not a magical cure for anything. Unfortunately, there's no magical cure. You need to start taking care of yourself and stop prioritizing time for the things that worsen your mental health and start making your health the priority. And that is some practical advice. I know people won't like this advice, but it is what it is. For me, the way I dealt with my depression is basically by swimming. I never took any medication for it. I didn't go to therapy for it. I swam, and that was 8 years ago. And recently I realized that, you know, putting your face into cold water stimulates the vagus nerve and elicits the parasympathetic response, so calms your nervous system down. So that's why I always felt good after, and also obviously endorphins, etc. Exercise in general, and even splashing cold water on your face apparently is good for depression or in general mental health problems. And that's what I'm saying. I didn't even know, and it was helpful for me. So yeah, just wanted to share that. Yeah, this one wasn't really about a specific disorder, because I felt like I just wanted to talk about this dependence on, or this attachment to the idea that medications are going to solve everything, and sort of looking for a miracle drug to solve something that you can actually, I'm not saying fully resolve, but at least 85%, and even psychiatrists will tell you this. You may not listen to them, but they will tell you, don't rely on your medications. Rely on lifestyle. Make those lifestyle changes. But no one wants to hear that. They want the easy solution. But unfortunately, if you want, this is the only way. If you want to really improve your mental and physical health, this is the only way. Until next time.